Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and we're working on our Noah's Ark Journal. So today we're going to work on the 4 flap box fold. And so you're going to want to get page 9, page 10, and page 11 of the add-on kit. And I'm going to cut all these pieces out and maybe do a little inking. They're shaded around the edges, so they don't need a whole lot of ink, but I'm going to maybe do a little bit. And then we will get going on this. So I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I've got my pieces all cut out and inked as much as I'm going to ink them. So now I'm going to take my scoring board and I'm going to score this one. There's a line here and a line over here. We're going to score those. Ooh. Oh, try that. Okay, fold it. I fold it both directions. And then we are going to start gluing. And then we're going to put the pockets on here, and this one goes at the top, and that white space is going to be covered by a pocket. So you've got that. See how it's just a little bit smaller than the width of that where the fold is. So you want to split the difference and kind of put it in the middle. And then we're going to attach it with some washi tape. So I'm just going to use, I think, just this generic kind of Tim Holtz washi tape. Put a little bit of glue because washi tape's not archival, which means that in a few years it will fall off if you don't put glue. And I got a little heavy glue there. I'm going to kind of wipe that back. Okay, so split the difference, get it up against there. And I'll trim that back just a little bit. Okay. And then at the bottom, same deal. You're going to put a little bit of glue on both pieces. Split the difference at the bottom in the distance from that fold over. Center that. And then you're going to put tape on it. And then we're going to, I'm going to flip it over, and I know I'm going to glue a panel on it, but just to reinforce it, I'm going to go ahead now. More washi tape. That way your flaps are attached really well. Okay, so you've got the inside done. Now you're going to put your pockets. Fold it, make sure it folds straight. Okay, and then we're going to take these pockets with the scriptures on them, and we're going to glue those on. The two long sides. As I mentioned in the other video, we're getting ready to go see the Ark in Kentucky. What's it called? The Ark? I forget what it's called. Encounter, I think it is, the Ark Encounter. And so we're going to fly into Cincinnati and get a rental car and drive over to, I guess it's like 40 miles away from Cincinnati, Ohio, even though it's in Kentucky. We actually used to live up in that part of the country. We lived in Bloomington, Indiana for about a year and a half. And but the Ark wasn't there when we were there, unfortunately, so now we're going to go all fly and drive and carry on to get there. But people who have seen the Ark, I've talked to a couple people who have been there, and they've said it's really awesome. So it's life-size. According to, the Bible gives all the details in the dimensions, so they built one just exactly the size that is specified in the Bible. And so that is going to be cool. Now when you glue this pocket, don't glue it right on the fold because it will it will make it not fold very well. So just get it a little bit up above it. And there is the inside. So here's your tuck spots for some small ephemera or some little tags or whatever. So we're going to flip it over, and these are going to glue like that, and this one up here, this one down here. And these you just glue on. We're not trying to make any pockets or anything. And be sure you don't get it over the fold. Even if you have to trim it, and it looks like I might have to trim mine a little bit on the edges. You don't want it to go over the fold because it won't fold. It will hinder the fold, so it would be better to trim off the edges, which is what I'm going to do. And if you want to go the extra mile, these look really cute when if you stitch them. Take them to the sewing machine and just go all the way around the edges, like all the way around this way. It looks super cute. Watch out for the fold on this one too. So I cut out all my ephemera and got it all inked, all the cards and all the animals. I didn't really, the fussy cutting, I didn't go really in as close on those as some of you might. I kind of cheated and left some of the white around the edges, but I think it's going to work. Okay, so now let's turn it over. Yeah, see how I'm going to need to trim it, but at least it folds like I need it to fold, and so does that. Okay, now here is the tricky thing. These, you don't want them to cross, so we're going to need to trim those edges back. So I'm going to take probably a 32nd of an inch, maybe, I don't know, and cut that and kind of round it off a little bit. And the same thing on this one, because those cannot overlap or they won't fold into a box fold very well. I'm going to trim this white edge off here. This thing's pretty flexible though. You can cut quite a bit off and it doesn't hurt it. Like that. No, still need a little bit more off of that. Okay, let me see if that will work. So, oh, and I'm going to cut this off. Cut this white edge off here. And the rest of, oh, this one needs a little bit of trimming too. Okay, let's see if that'll work. So it's just a box fold, like you fold a moving box. And you can, it's pretty strong, so you can manhandle it if you want it to. So yeah, that works. Right there is where if they overlap, this won't work very well. So looks like we got enough trimmed off. And so now I'm going to go back and hit that with some ink where I trimmed it. Okay. So there is that. And then this can glue in wherever you need it to. So I'm just going to save that and see where the space is at the end that we have left. And then I've got another folio here that we haven't done. And it's on page 14 of the add-on kit. Got little flips and flops and flaps on this one. And this is a glue flap. And this is a little pocket for the inside of it. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that. And actually, I'll cut a notch in it with my 2-inch circle punch. And then I'm going to get my scoreboard and score the glue flap. And there's lines to show you where to score this one. Like that. And ink that. And then we have the inside. Don't lose that. There's one more thing we're going to do, and that's the notepad. So keep that with the rest of the pieces. And now we need to, we've got a pocket for the inside of this. And so we can either stencil or we can glue paper here. I think I'll stencil, so let me grab a stencil. I'm going to use this pocket as a guide of what to use. And I'm going to use some green. Let's see, I use moss, which is one of my favorites. And I think I'll use this Tim Holtz pattern here. I don't know what it's called, but. And then, what did I say, wild honey? And move it over here. And then this pocket. Let's see if I do that. I don't think it matters. I'm going to go ahead and glue that there. And I'm not sure why I stopped there. However, what I can do is use some washi tape there. And I'm just going to use one of these Tim Holtz. Okay, and then this needs to go. So this shows the flood, shows the animals going on, so it could really go in any of the front part of the journal. Let's see, what do I have? I've got nothing here. I think I'll looking to see if it could go. Doesn't matter which way it goes. I think I'll glue it. I think I'll glue it here. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. And you know, it doesn't seem sometimes like you never finish inking. You never finish inking the edges. And then I'm going to put some washi tape over that. Let's see, this looks kind of similar to the what I have going on there with my decoupage. Boy, I didn't get that on there very straight, did I? Or let's straight with the edge. Okay, that's going to bug me, so I'm going to pull it off. Okay, let's try that again. And okay, and then that unfolds and there's a place to put things in there. And then I have a couple of these big cards that I forgot when I designed the kit what I was doing, but what I was doing is intending for them to be pockets. And so I'm going to use one to cover this poor unfortunate little bird here. So I'm going to cut a notch here so people will know that that's a pocket. And then ink it, and then I'm going to glue this in. I'll put it right on the edge so that it will be easier to get to the pocket. So I'm just going to put glue on 3 sides here and turn this into a giant pocket. And I'll be doing the same thing with that other one too. I love that card though. That artwork I found is great. Like that. And then I think I'll put this one, let's see. This is, oh yeah, this is perfect. This needs to go over this. Yes. Okay, so I'll put a notch over here and ink it, and then glue these 3 sides. That solves a couple of problems. And then, let's see. So I'm going to start to look at these things. I've got 5 signatures, so I kind of want to distribute the flaps and inserts and things I glue. We've got this fold out Noah's Ark. And so that can actually glue either. Look for a place for it. So let's say I wanted to cover this up. I could just glue it here, and then when you come to it, you would just open it up like that. So you can do that, or if you had 2 pages, let me see if I have 2 pages together that I don't like. Since I put that note paper in, it kind of changes it for me. But if you have 2 pages you don't like put together for any reason, just for example, you could glue this in on both pages, and then when you open it, it'll show this. And you could also glue it here and here, cut a little notch, and this would be a pocket. Same thing on this side. So you could have a double pocket created with this. So a couple of possibilities. This signature I didn't. This is my little decoupage. I'm going to trim this off. This signature I didn't put note paper in. So if I had 2 that I didn't like together on this, I could do it. But I don't know if I do or not. I mean, I could do it there, although I really like those pages. But I think I'm going to glue in these 2 pages and let them be pockets, even though I really like these. So I'm going to glue this. Oh, I forgot I need to cut the notches, so let me get my notches in and ink them. Okay, back to the glue. So I had glue, I better put a little bit more. And this edge here. And then I'm gonna set it down in the fold really well and let it shut over it so I know that it's gonna be where it belongs. And then it's kind of pushed away from the fold a little bit, but that'll be all right. And then I'll shut this page over it. I've got paint here and there, but that's always the case with my journals. So we've got these 2 pockets here, a little bit of color around the edge, which I don't mind. And then when you open it, there. Okay. Looks good to me. So there is that signature. So this has quite a bit already. This has this one, well, just those 2, I guess, but that's kind of a lot right there. So I don't think I'll put anything else in this signature. And then we have this to put in, and we have, this doesn't have a lot in it. We have another flap and pocket, and we have a notepad. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. This is page 15. And again, if you're asking me why did we do so many fold outs and flip outs, it's because there was some really good artwork available. So why not? We want all of it in there, right? Those. Oh, and then again, need to stencil probably. So I've got this extra stencil here. And so I'm going to do just a green, I think solid green, because that's kind of a crazy pattern. So I don't want it to get and turn into a crazy mess that you can't see where the pocket is. So, okay, so I'll use old paper. Okay, let's see how that looks. Or rather this way, I guess is how it is. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I want this to be smaller, I'm going to mark this. Let's see, I think I left myself. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take this pocket, mark it with a pencil, so I know where to score it. And then I want to do the glue flap. And bone folder so it lays flat, ink that edge, and then fold it where I scored it. And ooh, how'd that get so crooked? Okay. That is so weird how you can make a straight line, but it's not straight when you get done. So I'm going to make it line up top to bottom straight, and then force it to fold with my bone folder, and then it lays perfectly flat and exactly where you want it to be. Now let's see if our pockets fit. They do, but when you shut it, see how the pocket shifts just a little bit over? And you'll have to trim off a little bit, but that's just the nature of the beast when we do this. So do I want to put two pockets or do I want to stack them? I think, nope, I'm going to put them side by side. Okay, so I'm going to put my glue on the three sides, and I'm going to glue it, but I'm going to let it hang off just a little bit on the edge, because you want to be able to fold it. And just to make sure, fold it so that if you didn't get it far enough over, it will push it over to where it has to be to fold. Hope that makes sense. And then take a pair of scissors and just trim off whatever's sticking out, like that. And do that. And then this one you won't have to cut anything off this one because it has a little bit more room on that side. And then keep it away from the fold so that it doesn't hinder it. Fold it to make sure. And there's that pocket where it needs to be. Okay, and this is the building of the ark. So let's see if I have room in that. Let's see, this is the water. The building is the first one. Okay, let's see if I have, what do I have going on in this one? Just that. Okay. Oh, and then that pocket there, but that's not a big deal. So I think, oh, and it's made to glue on this side. Okay. Let's see if I have anything. I can put it on here. I've got this. I wonder if I can. I think I'll glue it there, even though it's on. I think it'll still work. I'm going to do that because I'm trying to cover my bird up that's upside down. So I'm going to do that. Actually, do you guys talk to yourselves when you do this? And I'm going to lay it down, make sure it doesn't go over the edge. Okay, so then you can open it like that. And I think, poor little birdie, I think I'm going to cover him up with some scrap. Let's see. I really hate to cover him up, but I put him on the other piece, so I think we still have a bird, just not that bird. This is my Mod Podge, and I'm using this Tim Holtz tissue paper. It doesn't bleed through the tissue paper very well, so I am making sure I get it underneath as best I can. I'm pushing the glue out that's under that tissue paper because it was kind of a lot. Okay. All right. So that, if nothing else, it hides the bird. And then this is done. I need to ink the edges. And then I need to put a piece of washi tape over this right here. And I'm going to, again, just use a generic Tim Holtz piece of tape. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. And I think that's it except for this. I'm looking at my signatures to see which one is the thinnest, and I think the water one is the thinnest. I'm going to go ahead and glue in my 4 Flap Boxfold. I think I'll do it here. Okay, so just put a lot of glue on the edges and glue it in wherever you need to cover something. You could also make a pocket out of this if you wanted to, but that would be probably a lot. I don't know that we need it, but you could. And then I'm going to move it away from the fold. Make sure I've got this right side up. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right, so that's got that. And I think we're going to stop for now. And we will come back and do some more on the next video. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.